When you talk about a dream list, talk about that. What is a dream list?
You've probably heard the terminology bucket list before. I think that bucket list is great. I think that sometimes that brings up the feeling of like when I am of blank age or when my this era of my life is over, I will then do these things. And, we all know somebody in our lives that they worked their entire life and saved and did all these things so that when they reached this age, they could then experience this great life. And then some tragedy happened and they never got that opportunity. And so the idea with the dreams list is, what are all of the things that would excite you throughout life, bring you some joy, maybe accomplish in the workplace, fitness? We have 9 categories. So we go from adventure, travel, material, family, relationships, faith, legacy, physical and emotional health. And so we really try and cover all areas of what somebody's life can be. Throughout that brainstorming process, we call it dream storming, but throughout that process, they build a massive list of all the things they'd like to do at some point throughout their life. Most people create about 100 to 200 on their list. I've got some individuals in my organization that have done this for the last 4 or 5 years, and they have over 1,000 dreams that are on their list. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
So when do they have time to work?
Well, what's really interesting with this is it's like once we took the focus off, what do you do for me here at work, and put the focus on valuing the individual and what they're experiencing in life, the results that they brought to work were totally different, heightened, larger, and they had so much more energy for what they were doing at work because it was shifting the whole concept of not live to work, but work to live. So now work became the vehicle for me to live the life of my dreams. So I better attack it. I better come in with a lot of energy. I better be self-motivated in these things because I have all of these exciting things that I'm trying to accomplish in my personal life.
So what's fascinating to me about you said 9 categories about that you have people dream in. Cutco and Vector Marketing is also known for its disciplined accountability in terms of meeting your sales goals. Talk about how you balance that, because you've been able to keep that intense focus on goals while also allowing people to have a life. Because I think what we struggle with is if it's an either or, you can't do both.
I think that's a great question. It's a similar question I get a lot of, like, well, what's the difference between a goal and a dream? And I think that I've been helping people to set and achieve goals for the last 15 years of the 20 years I've been within that organization. And so often when we set a goal, we set it that we know it's within reach, right? Because we want to hit our goals. Very rarely does somebody actually set a goal that's really a stretch goal, right? And I can remember the quote, I don't know who said it, but it's not about reaching the goal. It's about who we become in the process. What I like about the dreams aspect is it gives permission for people to be ungrounded. In other words, hey, don't think about normal restraints, because it's so easy for somebody to say, I can't do this or I can't do this. Well, in the normal structure of work, if I give you a sales number or you set your own sales number, what we're saying is that's the thing that matters. And what the dreams concept is doing is it's taking it one level further to say, what are the things you want to accomplish in your life? Okay, it's this. So therefore, you probably need to do this in sales in order to accomplish these personal things. It's almost creating a larger anchor or why instead of just here's your job, go get it done.
So what you've basically done is you've shifted the focus from do it for the company to do it for you, because growing the company serves you. Which is an interesting angle.
Yeah. And if you think, over the last couple of years, you've heard the terminology, the Great Resignation, right? And part of that is, people are being able to work differently and work from home and do the hybrid model. And so there's a lot of things that have gotten people to think differently of like, hey, is what I've been doing the last decade, is that really what I want to keep doing? One of the things that has come out throughout the surveys of employees through Gallup surveys and that type of stuff is that people want to be valued for who they are, not just what they do at work. And I think that this speaks to that, where it's, hey, we're valuing the individual and we want you to have the most exciting life possible. And this can be the vehicle for you to get there.
As a director, as a manager, you have lots of people reporting to you. How do you help people achieve their dreams? Because it's one thing to make a list. When you do the brainstorming goal setting within an organization, you then chunk them down, prioritize, and you have sort of a unified goal that you're moving to. with your dream process, you could ostensibly end up with 9,000 different dreams, with each person having 1,000 times. That's a lot of things to manage. So how do you do that? How do you develop that culture so it's effective?
So what I like about the dreams concept is it really puts the onus on the individual. And so it's not my responsibility for you to live the life of your dreams. What I do, what I take it upon myself, and this is kind of what the book is about, is to teach any business owner or team leader how to introduce the concept to the team. But what's great about this is that it builds organically. In my experience, every person, this is my belief, every person knows how to dream. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old daughter, and I was talking to my 5-year-old about this. And she said, so what do you do for work? And I said, I do a few different things. And we were talking about how I help people dream. And she said, how do you teach people how to dream? And I said, I don't teach them how to dream. I remind them of what they used to know. And when we go through life, we get to a stage where people just stop asking, what are your dreams? And then we get into the normal, well, now I have a job and I have a mortgage and we have all these obligations. And we just don't give ourselves the time or space to recognize, like, hey, what are the things that I used to want to do, or that would give me some excitement, or learning a new skill, or going on a trip. Really, the process is me helping individuals to identify what their dreams are. And then what we do in that session is we call these dreams workshops, but what we'll do is we'll allow them the space to identify 5 to 10 that they think they could do in the next 3 to 6 months. And then they take some action. And so in that moment, they'll take action on at least one dream. So when they leave, well, I know they have something in the books that's scheduled, that they're going to get done. And when they do that, I always hear about it if they're on my team. Hey, I just was able to cross a dream off my list. It's called dream spotlighting, but we share that with the rest of the team. And then that's a really positive nudge to other people on the team. That's like, oh, congrats to Sally, but man, I got to go back to my list and see what are the things that I need to do. So it's more of a, invitation, not obligation.
Got it. So 3 to 6 months for your dreams. I'm trying to chunk that down in my mind, because you also gave an example: travel, language, development. Some of those are more than 3 to 6 months. Yeah. Or if everybody decided to travel in those 3 to 6 months, you might be in trouble. So talk a little bit about how you navigate that.
The concept with all of this is a quote that when there's hope in the future, there's power in the present. And so I'm sure you can think of a time, and listeners can think of a time. It could be a trip, that the enjoyment of the trip wasn't just the trip. It was the anticipation of the trip. It was the planning of the trip. It was hey, what are we going to do when we get there? All of that brought value to the trip outside of just that 1-week vacation. When we're working towards something, whether it's I've got dance class, somebody that I just did a workshop for, he's not on my team, but I do these workshops for other companies, and he just signed up for comedy classes, and he just did his first ever live open mic thing, found me on social media and messaged me. He's like, thanks so much. And so what that does is, it doesn't need to be something that's massive. A lot of the dreams are smaller. They're just things that you've thought about doing, and hey, that'd be cool, but never taken action on. By doing those things, we're just experiencing different enjoyment in life. One of my beliefs is there's no longer this work life, home life, especially now that we're working remotely and everything else. The lines are completely blurred and erased. If I have a really vibrant, exciting personal life, it is impossible for me not to bring that energy to work. This guy, his name's Hans, and he's all of a sudden taking these live mic classes. He's doing things he hasn't done. He's out of his comfort zone. He's getting affirmation of, hey, you're doing something that's great. He's going to show up differently in the workplace when he has an exciting home life as well.